Hi, I'm Amber from Funk Around and Find Out Designs. Today I'm going to talk to you about good ideas, how things go terribly wrong, and then how we pivot. It started off simply enough. Reuse the existing light fixture and transform these green soda bottles, which have been piling up from a loved one who is possibly rotting their insides drinking them, and turn these into carnivorous plants. Venus flytrap was my vision, that the little Sometimes your really great idea does not come together as easily as you originally thought it was going to. And in this particular case, I have 51 photographs and process videos of things that did not work for this project. And I'm going to walk you through as quickly as possible the ones that didn't work and get us to what did work. First off, I designed a template that when folded together and joined at the seams would make a passable shape for my Venus flytrap light shades. And then I cut it out of my green plastic bottle. I realized the bottle was a little bit too flexy, too wimpy, and I wanted to triple it up and make it thicker so I would have a bolder green, more rigid, light diffusing effect. So, made my 3 identical pieces and decided I would use heat to fuse them all together. So I got a cookie sheet, layered my plastic, another cookie sheet, clamps, put them in the oven at 398 degrees because that's some weird magic number that I saw online, and I stunk up the whole house. And even though it was hard to even be in the house, because don't do this, poison, I bring it out, it's wavy like this, looks like crap, it's about half the size it originally was because it shrunk so much, and the layers aren't stuck together. So I just have 3 crappy templates. Awful. So then the next idea is, all right, I will just cut down smaller pieces. I will use a heat gun and try to fuse them together into the shape of the Venus flytrap once I put it together. So trace out my shape on a piece of parchment on a cookie sheet, get my heat gun, get my small pieces, point the heat, torch this time. Point the torch at it. Nope, just made green plastic chips. Did not create what I wanted. But then, stubborn me, I think maybe I just need smaller pieces and I need to just create brand new plastic. I need to smelt it down and pour it out as liquid lava and start from there. So, how to make smaller pieces? Put it in the blender. Nothing happened. Put it in my food processor. Nothing happened. Then I ran it through a paper shredder and made green plastic confetti. Very well. That worked great. And so then I tried my oven baking technique again, cranked up the temperature to about 425 because another online source said that's the temperature to really melt plastic bottles. And I mean, we almost had to leave the house. It was terrible. Poison! Don't do that! And when we pulled it out, it still hadn't even achieved what I want. Not only was it not liquidy, it was no longer see-through. It had turned into a pastel green, which is pretty. I'll use for something else in the future, but not what I wanted. Then I get the idea, let's see if it will melt with an iron, like fuse beads, those childhood toys where you just put a piece of wax paper over it, run an iron over it, melts all the plastic together. That also did not work. At this point, my nerves are shot. A friend who worked in the automotive auto upholstery business asked me what all methods I was using this plastic fusion process, and I told her all the different heat methods, and she asked if I had ever used solvent, if I was using any chemicals. Because I have no experience using chemicals, it certainly did not occur to me as something to experiment with, but she suggested something that they use in her business. I go, I buy it, I test it out outside this time. Nothing happened, not a thing. I might as well put water on it. Did not work, not one single bit, no change. At this point, I'm starting to think, maybe I'm just bashing my head against the wall and I am totally going the wrong direction and I should just give up, get a new plan. My last attempt at using soda bottles in this way was using clear Gorilla Glue between 3 bottles where I opened it up like this, Gorilla Glue everywhere, slipped the next one over it. Gorilla Glue everywhere, slipped the next one over it. Then I left them to dry, and 3 days later, they were still gooey. Wouldn't dry, weren't stuck together. I tried to cut them into a shape and see what happened when I applied some heat. Nothing good. Nothing good happened at all. During this time, to soothe myself, I would periodically look at pictures of carnivorous plants online, try to get inspiration for a different direction. And I saw pictures of these pitcher plants I had never seen before. They're very low to the ground. They just sit like little bowls, nestled into greenery. And I thought, those kind of look like the barnacles I made out of egg cartons. I know how to be successful with that. So here we go, pitcher plants. We're changing the strategy. We're no longer trying to fabricate a full shade to attach to the light fixture. We're going to affix things to the existing glass globes and embellish in that way. So I sprayed spray paint, a light misting and dusting in a variety of colors on my clear plastic egg cartons, and happy surprise, light can still go through it. I would hold it up to the window, light would come through. I thought, this is great, I'm putting it on a light. It's going to actually be fabulous. So I followed the same steps that I did in my barnacle process. See that video where I would cut it into a variety of shapes, started gluing it to the light fixture and the globes in a variety of just building, being interesting, seeing how to make it stick. I used a combination of hot glue and titebond glue for this part of the process. I also beautified the light fixture with metal leaf green for the main body and like a rose color right where the lights are going to attach. It's beautiful. The process for that, very easy. You get the specific metal leaf glue. You either brush it on or spray it on, depends on what kind you have. Put the glue on there, let it dry and get tacky, lay the metal leaf on there, dust off the extra. Boom, perfect. Looks great. Something finally worked. So exciting. So when I'm at the point where I'm almost done affixing my new pitcher plant shapes, the pitcher plant cups all over the light fixture, I was thinking about next steps. And previously, when I was making barnacles, I would use air dry clay, make small barnacles to like go around all the seams and fill in all the gaps. That's not really how pitcher plants work. They don't grow like that with like little ones all nestled in like pups. They're not succulents. So I thought, I have all this shredded green plastic. It kind of looks like greenery. I could make little tufts of it and put it into the nooks and crannies, and it's going to be gorgeous. So I started doing that. I was so excited to get to use these green bottles. Yay! And so I would put a blob of hot glue on just a nonstick surface. I would put the greenery into it, let it dry, and then I would use titebond and stick it into the whole, the whole assemblage and to put it where I want it. Several hours in, when I had the greenery almost everywhere, I realized I had created an Easter basket, which was not the point. So it was only just a small setback. At least I had been making progress prior to that. So I pulled off all of the green plastic and realized, what about these guys that I accidentally made when I was experimenting with the heat gun? And the smaller pieces, bigger than the shredded, but like an inch or two big pieces of the green plastic. Now, this is something that I did years ago when everybody was like playing around with making Chihuly inspired sculptures with plastic bottles. And I really did not want to do that, but I was desperate. So I cut a variety of shapes, hit it with the heat gun. So satisfying. Did it outside. I'm learning. Did it outside, made a bunch of these little leafy, beautiful things. They're rigid. Their color got more intense because they shrank with the heat, which was awesome. And then I just started inserting them into the pitcher plant arrangement. It looked beautiful. I was so thrilled. I was so excited. I couldn't wait to get it into the space because I wanted to see how it looked lit up. Put it into the space. We got it wired up. We flipped on the light. Amazing. It's so good. So the major lesson here is to fall in love with your own ideas, but don't let them take you hostage. Be flexible. I needed to continually adjust, pivot, 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 try the next thing, ask people for advice who had worked with non-conventional materials. And in the end, I had to just find a new idea. And I hope to find a solution for what to do with these bottles going forward, because boy, do I have access to a whole bunch of them. But this is a tricky